DDO Players and News is brought to you by the Easy Roller Dice Company. You want to check out their latest Kickstarter they have for some brand new oversized graphical dice cups. As of this recording, the Kickstarter is fully funded and they are unlocking new dice cups as we speak with different graphical designs. You have 15 days to get in on the Kickstarter. You can get the link to the Kickstarter in the show notes. And don't forget, if you're shopping on EasyRollerDice.com, use that coupon code DDO Players to save yourself 15% at checkout.
Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Noodles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey, now everybody, how's it going? Thanks for joining us on this new record night, I guess. A day late, something like that. It's all confusing because it's Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday because we're recording, but it's not Monday anymore, so it's kind of weird, but it's good.
It sort of reminds me of the old Garfield comic where it shows him sleeping all day on Monday. Then on Tuesday, it shows him sleeping for 3 panels, waking up at the end, and it says, you know it's Monday when you wake up on Tuesday.
Oh, Garfield.
Yeah, Garfield. Never liked Mondays.
But he did like lasagna, so it's cool.
Well, there is that. The question is, does he like oversized graphical dice cups?
Sure, he could like bat him around and stuff.
Well, better than having him bat around the dice and knocking them under.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Let's head into the game news. And yes, there are game news. Yes, Update 39 has been released, and there's something called White Plume Mountain with a poem on it.
There is. It's exciting. The new classic dungeon, along with 4 other new tales, is available in a new adventure pack. The adventure pack is free to VIPs, and as I said, includes 5 new dungeons. One of those is White Plume, and then 4 additional tales of mad wizards and their works. The 5 quests are not part of a narrative arc, but instead they tie thematically around wizards run amok. And who doesn't like wizards run amok?
Ooh.
And yeah, you want to go ahead and read the poem. This is straight from the classic module, if you're not familiar with where this comes from.
Search ye far or search ye near, you'll find no trace of the 3, unless you follow instructions clear, for the weapons abide with me. North past forest, farm and furrow, you must go to the feathered mound, then down away from the sun you'll burrow. Forget life, forget light, forget sound. To rescue wave's crest, you must do battle with a beast in the boiling bubble. Crossed cavern vast, where chain links rattle, lies whelm's crest. Past waters spout stubble. Black razor's seal yet remains to be won. Underneath inverted ziggurat, they're garnered. Think not that you're done, for now you'll find you are caught. I care not, former owners brave, have heroes you seek to hire. Thought mighty, I'll make each one my slave, or send them to the fire. Your host, Caraptus.
There you go, and that's basically sums up White Plume Mountain. You're going in to try to retrieve 3 legendary weapons. That was so cool that they included that, because that is how the original module starts out. Your DM reads that to you and then sends you into White Plume Mountain.
And then sent you to your death.
Yeah, pretty much. White Plume Mountain was pretty deadly in pen and paper, so we'll see. I actually haven't done it yet in game. I was actually waiting to do it with Pineleaf for the first time, because usually I run stuff like 3 or 4 times before Pineleaf and I played, and this time I thought, you know what? I'm going to savor this moment, and I'm going to run it for the first time with Pineleaf, so...
Now, are you going to be patient enough to wait a couple weeks for us to do the others, or should we invert our original plan?
I think I'll be patient enough.
Okay.
We'll see, though.
If it comes to a Wednesday and you're not patient any longer, warn me so that you...
Yeah, exactly. So
yes.
But yeah, that's the plan.
Excited?
What has you excited?
Oh, okay. Actually, let's read what these other 4 quests are, then I'll tell you what what I'm excited about.
Sure, okay. The Another Man's Treasure. Objects made out of pure platinum have unexpectedly turned up in the Storm Reach dump, causing dissent among the kobolds who scavenge there. So that's interesting.
That's interesting, all right.
Kind of a big deal. A powerful magical artifact has gone missing. If it is not found quickly, it could cause pandemonium in this once quiet valley. Then there is Memory Lapse. The famous wizard Terrent Hawksworth has organized his memory as a library. Each memory was neatly filed away on the shelves until a rival wizard cast a spell that has brought chaos to Terrent's tidy mind. And
that's crazy.
The last of the new quest is called The Price of Freedom. The Esoteric Order of Arion has built a very special prison specifically to contain lawbreakers who are talented in the arcane arts. Now you are going in to break a friend of a friend out. And all these 4 new quests are level 6 on heroic, and they are 2 of them are 21 on epic, 23 on epic, and 25 on epic. And White Plume Mountain itself is level 9 heroic and level 32 on legendary. So that's the new quest. So what has you excited?
What has me excited is this Falconry Universal Enhancement Tree. I don't think I've seen a tree yet that said, what the?
Yeah, I kind of figured when I was reading about this, I'm like, Piney's going to be all over this, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it sounds like I've... now I just need to... Does that mean I have to start retraining one of my characters?
Yeah. And it also sounds like, I think, a Lotro dev that really likes lore masters decided to sneak a little Lotro into our DDO. Because this tree sounds really lore masterish. This is the Falconry Universal Enhancement Tree, as Finally said. This tree gives the players the ability to use a hunting bird to make coordinated attack on your targets, and it also hones the character's ability to make pinpoint attack. The Falconry Universal Enhancement Tree can be used by any character that has unlocked access to it. It's similar to the Harper Agent and the Bastani Knife Fighter tree.
Is that free to VIP?
I do believe it is, yes.
Okay.
And I think everybody else has to buy it, but I think VIPs get it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it sounds interesting. I might actually play with this in a character too. I might retrait one of my lower ended characters and maybe try this out because it sounds interesting for sure. But yeah, I did seriously when I read this, I'm like, this just screams Piney.
Yeah, if in Lotro, my lore master, because one of the lines for lore master is specializing in pets, and that is the line I usually take on my lore masters.
Yeah, that's I just thought, wow,
Yeah.
This is so lore masterish. It's not even funny. So I said, I think a Lotro dev snuck over and put a little code in.
Well, you occasionally have DDO devs sneaking some puzzles into Lotro.
And then, yeah, that's true. And then it does say the tree will be available as a separate purchase in the future and will also be available to unlock on a per-character basis in a future update. So I'm definitely going to check that out. Also, in Update 39, there's a lot of stuff going on in Update 39. The Treasures of Crystal Cove, the items have been updated, and that makes it easier than ever for participants to earn in-event items. They have redesigned some of the old favorites and added some new items as well. And of course now the mining challenge now scales up to level 35, and a new tier of gems will drop at the highest levels that can be turned in for level 28 versions of the Cove's loot. So that's got a lot of people excited. People are waiting for the Cove to come back now so they can get that, which I would think the Cove would come back fairly soon. If not, we know.
It does say.
Oh, go ahead.
It does say event coming soon in the header. Oh
yeah, it does. I didn't even see that. So you're right. Yeah, I would think they would have it come before before Talk Like a Pirate Day when it usually comes around. So I'm assuming it'll be before that. But as you said, it says coming soon. So there you go. And also, the Daily Dice got a little updating. Titan's Grip and Alchemical Intimidate potions now drop in stacks of 3 in the gold Daily Dice rolls. Bigby's Guiding Hands no longer appear in Tier 8 of the gold Daily Dice table. A few cosmetics were appearing in both Tier 7 and Tier 8 of the gold Daily Dice tables. This has now been fixed, and some brand new cosmetics have been added to the gold Daily Dice table. The DDO store has a new item available as well. In addition to the White Plume Mountain and Other Tales Adventure Pack, there is a collection of bonus items that will be available in the store that you can purchase. You will find these in the store under Adventure Packs, low level section of the store. These bonus items can be purchased separately, whether you already own the pack or you are a VIP. So VIPs do not automatically get this pack. You will have to purchase it if you would like this pack. And what, might you be asking, is in this pack? The bonus items in the pack include the Cerulean Crown of Wave cosmetic headwear, Cerulean Crest of Wave cosmetic armor, the Giant Crab Creature Companion certificate, 5 sentient XP stones worth of 1,000 sentient XP per each server, and the Falconry Universal Enhancement Tree. Oh, so I was wrong. VIPs do not get this. You will have to buy the Falconry Tree. I steered you wrong earlier, Pineleaf. I apologize. The Cosmetic Headwear, Armor, and Creature Companion is bound to account and will be delivered of the inventory of every character on your account the first time you log into the game world with that character after you purchase the pack. The Sentient XP Stones and the bound to account are bound to account, and they will be delivered to the inventory of the first character that you log into on each server after you purchase the pack. And the Falconry Tree will be available for all characters on the account after purchasing the pack. So if you want the Falconry Tree, you're going to have to cop up 1,095 DDO points for it, because that's what this pack cost.
Well, I think I may have that many points awaiting.
Yeah, you usually hoard your points, so
yes.
I'm sure you probably do.
Yeah.
You know, unlike me, who always buys gold sealed hirelings.
Yeah. I've heard you bought 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah. It's my weakness in life, and my that's what I spend my points on. What can I say? But I'm gonna have to see how many I have, because
you spend them on gold seals. I spend them on falconry trees.
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, but yeah, I'm might have to buy some points, because I do want to check out this tree, and I do want to check out this cosmetics too, because I have seen some and they look pretty nice. So kind of interesting they're doing this, and I know there was a lot of dissent on the forums about this. There was a lot of people that were saying this was just nothing but a cash grab. I don't know if I call it a cash grab or not. I think people were just upset that they chose to put the falconry tree kind of gated behind this pack. And that's, I think, why people were calling it a cash grab. But I don't really see it being a cash grab.
Well, then wait a couple of months for when the falconry tree is available by itself.
Exactly. That's it. So it can't really be a cash grab now, can it? Because this is going to be available by itself eventually. So we'll see.
And they did also say that it will also, at a future update, be available through unlock. Of course, how it's going to be unlocked by a character is going to be an entirely different matter.
I would think it would probably be favor. That's usually how they do most of that. So
3 billion favor total.
Exactly. I'm not saying it's not going to be a grind. I'm just saying you're going to be able to unlock it. Elsewhere in Update 39, yes, there's more. We have the enhancement tree updates. We have kind of covered these before, so we're not going to go too much in detail on these. You can go over to the show notes and click on the release notes to read more about these if you would like to know. But the Artificer got some work, Barbarians. The Cleric, Favorite Soul got a lot of stuff because they got some new tiers, and the Beacon of Hope, which I said we have kind of covered this before, so we're just going to go through it. War Priest and War Soul for the Cleric as well. that was the major update on the clerics, were the new trees. And then, of course, the Falconry Universal Enhancer tree. Can read more about that. There's a lot in it. It looks pretty cool, and it sounds cool. I am kind of looking forward to playing with this. And kind of looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it as well, once you actually, buy it and
Okay.
play
You
with
can
it.
choose a falcon, a white falcon, a gray owl, a snow owl, or a raven.
Can I guess that you're going to choose the snow owl?
Okay, it probably depends on what character I'm on. If it's with my Dragonborn, that I would use it, and the Snow Owl, of course, would be an automatic on that one. But there might be some other characters that may choose Raven instead. Crossover with Lotro and the Raven.
Yeah, there is. It's true. I am going to have to ask Cordovan what dev worked on this, because I swear it has to be a Lotro dev. The more I read this, the more it's screaming Lore Master and Lotro to me. So some crossover happening here, people. And then we also got the Fjarland Carnival Adventure Pack. Has had its loot updated to include the standard scaling effects. Currently obtained items will remain unchanged. So if you want the new version of the items, you're going to have to go run Fjarland Carnival to try to get the new items to drop for you. And that is pretty much it. We've kind of covered most of this stuff, but I think the big stuff is the Falconry tree, and of course White Plume Mountain and the new quest. And Ninth Pond in the chat is saying the Raven needs to say nevermore.
Well, Ravens can say more than that. There's obviously thinking of Edgar Allan Poe, and there is actually a larger literary body related to Ravens. But let's head into the DDO Chronicle, issue 292, and I will presume that this comes from one of the new quests with these Betty demons or whatever they are.
It does. It actually comes from one of the few that I have ran.
Okay.
Won't say next one, which one, because of spoilers.
Okay.
But yes, it does. The Chronicle this week, we've got our community spotlight. You want to check over and check out PB's Random Armor Guide for Cosmetic Lovers. This is a guide that will show you what stuff looks like if you want to use them cosmetically. And I found this very useful because I seen a few things in this and I'm like, I'm going to have to try to get, because I would like to mirror that, because I like the look of that. So if you're into the cosmetic side of DDO, check out that guide. Let's head over into our fan site news section, where Mickey, of course, is talking about raids. She's in week 81 of her raiding. Mickey, you are crazy, but you're awesome for raiding that much. DDO Cast had their episode 526, which is the continuation of the 3-part Slayer areas discussion. Check that out. I actually listened to that today, and it was an excellent episode, as always. Sip is back with a new blog post on Don't Fear the Reaper 3. I'm going to guess Sip's talking about Reapers. We got a shout out for last week's episode of Goth Hobbits and Hot Topic. I was waiting for a comment from Pineleaf, but I guess I'm not going to get one, so I'm going to move on. Streaming with Even is flagging for Shroud Palooza, which we talked about in last week's show. Yes, Shroud Palooza's coming back. And Eben is working on flagging some characters for that. You can check out Tone Station as he plays another adventure in White Plume Mountain over on his stream. And Fridays on Ice with Baklagor happens every Friday night on the DDO stream, so check that out. Always a fun time to watch Baklagor play. And of course, don't forget Brock and Friends and their role-play adventures throughout DDO. That is another excellent stream that I cannot recommend enough. So much fun to watch Brock and Friends. They are so fun to watch. And you can tell they are a great group of friends, and they play off of each other nicely, and they role play. It's fun to see DDO played in the way Brock and Friends play DDO. If you've never watched their stream, check it out. And then we have our official screenshot of the week in our Chronicle this week, and that is Nutmeg, Quarlevel, and Sinria. Sure, why not? Gaze into space in the 374th DDO screenshot of the week. That is a pretty sweet looking screenshot, if I do say so myself. And I forgot.
Where's that from?
I'm not sure. Trying to think of where. bet they are on their airship, I think, because that's the only place I can think of that you would be high enough to get the moon like that. I'm guessing they're standing on their airship.
Okay.
And I completely forgot about this week's Chronicle comment. How could I forget that?
Ooh.
The question this week is, who is your favorite hireling?
Any cleric that still has spell points left when we get near the end.
Yeah, good answer. Very good answer. You know, I have to think about this. I don't know if I have a favorite hireling or not.
It's certainly not the burglar that refuses to do work.
Yeah, that rogue and I have conversations all the time when I tell him, take care of that trap. And he's like, consider it done. And then he doesn't do anything. And I'm like, no, seriously, dude, take care of that trap. Consider it done. And then he doesn't do anything. So
well, he told you to consider it done. He didn't say it was actually done.
Well, okay. Semantics, but okay. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite hireling or not. That's kind of a tough question. I kind of like Flower just because I think his name is Flower and he's a dwarf, or her name is Flower and she's a dwarf. That just makes me laugh for some reason. So maybe I'm going to go with Flower.
I intentionally avoided Flower.
I just think it's funny the dwarf's name is Flower. I don't know why, but
it does sound like a rather weird name for a dwarf.
Exactly. So that is our Chronicle for the week.
Then let us head into our store sales. And what's on sale this week?
There is a lot of good stuff. The summer sales is continuing through July 26th. 35% off the Greater Tome of Epic Learning, 50% off Delira's Tomb and Alignment Changes, and 75% off the Minds of Tethiamar quest pack. Grab that. That is a super awesome fun quest pack, and to get it at 75% off is a no-brainer in my opinion. This is the Get a Boost sale as well. You can get 20% off the following items. Also through July 26th, Sovereign XP Elixirs, Treasure Hunter Elixirs, and the Greater Lasting Supreme Ability Potions. The weekly coupon code will get you a free lasting potion of Resist Fire. You will get plus 10 to your Resist Fire, and you'll get 5 of those potions with the coupon code NOFIRE, NOFIRE. And that, funny enough, is through July 26th as well.
What a coincidence. Then let's head into the site news. And we have our DDO player screenshot of the week, number 66. It's been a while since we had a screenshot of the week.
It's been a long time. I would have to look back to see the last time we had one, but it's been quite a long time. I actually, to tell you the truth, forgot we even did this until I got this email, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is a thing that we do, isn't it? And this week's screenshot comes from the one and only Bonnie Bew. And she writes in, for all you adventurers out there thinking of redecorating your airship or your lair, have you considered adding Gothic bookshelves? Count Strahd von Zorobich certainly has. Straight from the pages of the Barovian Architectural Digest, here's a screenshot of the study in Castle Ravenloft. And then she says, hashtag library goals.
Okay.
I took a time out from my fear while I was doing a Raven at the Door this week and thought, man, I really wish I had bookshelves like that. It's good to be a Dark Lord. Yeah, and that, of course, is a screenshot of the library room in Castle Ravenloft. And yeah, that is an awesome looking library. I agree. And yes, it is good to be a Dark Lord, Bonnie. It is.
Then let us see what's coming in from the dungeon. And it looks like we have an interview with author Jonathan French.
We do. His new book, which I knew you weren't going to say the name of, so I was waiting. I was waiting to see how you were going to get around that. We did. Jonathan French has a new book out called The Grey Bastards. It is a tale about a group of half-orcs that ride hogs. And by the word hog, I mean the actual hog. They ride warhogs. And they're a motorcycle gang that rides warhogs.
Would they be a warhog gang instead of a motorcycle gang?
Okay, fine. They're a warhog gang. But yes, this is a great fantasy book by author Jonathan French. I had a chance to sit down and talk to him about the book, Talked to him about the sequel of the book that's coming out and also his gaming history. And it was just a lot of fun to talk to Jonathan. So if you haven't checked that interview out, check it out. And if you haven't checked the book out, check that out as well. It is available now from Candlewick Press. It is The Gray Bastards. It is a fantasy book with a lot of fight scenes in it. There is some amazing fight scenes. And just a fun, great book. I'm going to review the book soonish. I've read through it twice now, and I'm going to try to get the review in. Probably won't get it done before Gen Con, just throwing that out there now, but there will be a review, the review of the book up on DDO Players at some point.
All right, and does the title describe their temperament or the legitimacy of their birth?
A little bit of both, actually.
Okay.
Kind of a play on words, but yes.
Then let's have a look at WotC announces a new hardcover book, The Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Or Ravenica, as I say, but however you want to pronounce it, yes. And of course, you should know what this is if you're a Magic player, because they're getting Magic the Gathering mixed in with our D&D. Worlds are colliding, and they're crossing, and it's been kind of done before, unofficial-like, but now it's going to be official.
Oh, see, that's what you have when you have a world full of planeswalkers that summons things.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's exactly what happens. But yeah, this is the first collaboration of a major official product between the D&D crew and the Magic the Gathering crew. So the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica will be releasing everywhere on November the 20th. The book is going to contain everything fans will need to play D&D in the world-spawning city of Ravnica, the fan favorite Magic the Gathering setting. And this is populated by 10 rival guilds. Each guild will have its own ethos and agendas. And also going along with this will be a map pack that will be out too, that will have maps that you can use during your play session. And also a brand new set of dice is coming out as well. Wizards is really getting into releasing dice sets with their products. That started kind of back with the Tomb of Annihilation. They had a dice set, and they are doing one for this one as well. So yes, November 20th is when this book comes out. So this is the next hardcover book, and it will provide all that you need to have some great adventures in the Magic the Gathering setting of Ravnica in your D&D game.
Now, is that how WotC pronounces it? Because you seem to be adding an extra vowel that
I'm not sure how they pronounce it. I should have listened to see how they pronounce it. See, I've heard it pronounced like 5 different ways. But I haven't actually listened to any official WotC pronunciation of it. I haven't heard anybody from WotC say the name yet. I've heard it on several different podcasts, and I think, like I said, I've listened to like 5 different podcasts, and I've heard 5 different ways to pronounce it.
So is my way anywhere near one of those 5, or
it was close? Yes, it was close. Because how do you say it?
Ravnica,
okay. And I think one of them called it Ravnica. I've heard that too, so I'm not sure how you say it.
So in other words, we were different on the accent there.
And Nightpon saying, I'm not sure how they even pronounce WotC.
Well, there is that little detail.
True. So anyway, the Guildmaster's Guide to Insert, however you want to pronounce it here, will be out November 20th. And I will have to listen to... I haven't listened to the latest edition of Dragon Talk. I'm sure they've talked about it on that. And that's the official podcast from WotC. So I'm sure they'll say it there. And then I can come back and say, Pineleaf, you were right, because we all know that you're going to be right anyway. Oh, come on, you're always right, Pineleaf.
Well, maybe... I don't know, because that was the first attempt at it. Because when I think back when I did a lot of Magic, if they had an official name for the world, they didn't say it out in the open back in those days. But let's head into another announcement by WotC, and this one I don't think is a big surprise to anyone. And in fact, it actually sort of touches a little bit into DDO, not on the official level, but it ties into it, and that's because WotC has announced Eberron for 5th edition.
It's about darn time.
Yes.
Yes, Eberron is officially coming to 5e. And you don't have to wait. It's actually here now. You can get the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron over on the DM's Guild, and that will give you everything that you need to start crafting adventures in Eberron. It will give you character options and, of course, questing options. It'll cover everything from regions, races, dragon marks, backgrounds, and more. The official Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron, as I said, is available now over on the DM's Guild. And Mike Merles of the D&D team did tweet out about this, and he said a lot of people are asking... let's start that over. Lot of people asking about this Eberron. Not until content is 100% sealed. Mechanics will run through UA and will be updated in the PDF. Once those are done and Artificer added, will turn on print on demand. So right now it is just going to be a PDF version only. And once it's finalized, he did follow that tweet up later on saying this is going to be what he called a living, breathing document. So it's going to change constantly. They are going to tweak things, add stuff, playtest stuff, add more stuff. Once they feel like it's 100% sealed and finalized, then you can do a print on demand. But it's just freaking awesome. We can get Eberron officially in 5e now. And of course, this book is written by mainly the one and only Keith Baker, the father of Eberron himself.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, and a lot of people have been asking for this. A lot of people are saying, when's Eberron coming? They've been kind of mum on it. Well, there you go. So, and it's kind of interesting they chose to do it this way, because they opened it up to the DM's Guild, so that means players can actually create it. It used to be that the DM's Guild, you could only create content for the Forgotten Realms and Ravenloft. But now it's Ravenloft, Forgotten Realms, and Eberron now. So we should see lots of great content up on the DM's Guild. And I would assume at some point we're going to get an official Guide to Eberron hardcover from WotC. That has not been announced. I don't know anything about that. That is just purely mad speculation on my part. But it just seems like a given. At some point, they're going to put out an official guide to Eberron in hardcover format. But we'll see if that happens. But it's just awesome that Eberron is finally here for 5e. And as you said, it does kind of tie into D&D because... or DDO, I should say, because the first 20 levels of the game are in Eberron. That's where we started. It used to be a Eberron-only game, and then we kind of moved over in the Forgotten Realms. So yeah, it's awesome to see Eberron finally jumping to 5e.
Then let's head on and see what's on the tabletop. And it looks like they're going to find out over at Z-Man whether or not you're willing to pay $100 for a game that you probably already have.
My question to you was, are you willing to pay $100 for a game you already have, Pine Leaf?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, we're talking about the 10th anniversary edition of Pandemic. I just can't believe Pandemic's 10 years old. It doesn't seem like it's been out that long.
Yeah, well, it has been. Well, you got to remember, it has, since that time, has gone to a second edition, and it has had 2 seasons of a legacy game based on it, and it has spawned a Cthulhu version, and a Netherlands version, a Iberian version, a dice game, and I'm sure there are 1 or 2 of them that I've completely forgotten at the moment.
I guess I never thought about how many different Pandemics there are, but they're right. There's a lot of Pandemics out there. But there's only one 10th anniversary edition, Pine Leaf, and the version of Pandemic is going to return the game to its original form. Players will be working together to halt the spread of a life-threatening diseases in a race against time. Z-Man is giving the 10th anniversary edition an retro look, as they say. They're packaging the game in a metal box designed to look like an earliest 20th century first aid kit, complete with gaskets that can be used to mount it on a wall. Okay.
What do they mean by its original form?
Well, later editions of the game have kind of tweaked the gameplay a little bit to where it's not so much co-op, or you're not trying to, like in the zombie version, you're trying to fight zombies instead of just like a regular disease. And I'm assuming that's what they mean. This is going back to the base gameplay is how I took that.
Okay, because I said I haven't noticed anything going away from co-op. So unless you're talking about that expansion that has a bioterrorist potential player.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was talking about there. But yeah, you can mount the game on your wall, Pine Leaf. You don't have to take space on your game shelf. Hang it on the wall. Treat it as an art piece, if you will. The game is also going to feature all new artwork printed in a period-style color palette and using printing techniques that will design to give the components the appearance of having been produced in an antique print shop. The character cards have also been upgraded to look like ID badges, and for the first time ever since the game's first edition, it will feature wooden playing pieces. The character pawns are also getting a little bit of facelift, being replaced by sculpted plastic miniatures treated with an ink wash to bring out the detailing. Altogether, the game will weigh at an impressive 6 pounds. The Pandemic 10th Anniversary Edition board game is intended for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. It should take about 45 minutes to play. MSRP on this, as Pine Leaf said, is $100. It's $99.99. And Z-Man is going to print a limited number of copies, but they did not say what that limited number will be. So I'm seeing... Okay, not that I'm condoning doing this because I hate when people do this, but if I had $100, I would probably buy one of these and wait about a month or two and then put it up on eBay. And I bet I could sell it for about $600. Just saying.
Now, I'm trying to think that back when... I think that the 5th Anniversary Edition of Settlers of Catan... and this is about, 10 years ago or something like this, cost about $150 or something like that. But they had these really 3D boards on and stuff like that. So they bumped it up to 11 when they did that.
Ninth Pawn is saying, they're getting rid of the pawns? I'm boycotting the hell out of this.
Oh, yes, I guess Night Pawn would say that.
Yeah. Sorry, no pawns. Sorry.
No pause.
So yeah, this will be out in Q4, and once again, MSRP is $99.99.
Now, the real question is whether or not they'll manage to get this out before the Steam version of the game releases.
Probably no, but we'll see.
Well, the Steam version of the game, I think, has been postponed so many times.
Yeah, it's just got postponed again, I think. So yeah,
it now says third quarter.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it is third quarter. The Steam red. Well, that's because they decide. I think the people on the board convinced them that they can't release it without internet support.
Well, that would just be stupid to release it without internet support.
Well, a lot of games are supported. A lot of co-ops have been released that way, and there's one crowd that really hates it when they do that, and those who don't play it on such games on the internet says, well, why not? Then let's head into DDO players at Origins 2018 interviewed USAopoly.
That's right. I stopped by the USAopoly booth and had a chat with Jake Davis about some of the newest and some upcoming games. So if you have not watched that video yet, check that out. It was a fun little interview, and I wanted to thank Jake for taking some time out. And I'm going to talk to him again at Gen Con in just a couple weeks, or days, actually. There's like 8 days until Gen Con. So I do have a interview scheduled with Jake again at Gen Con. See, I'm getting all confused about my conventions. I have too many conventions I go to, Pine Leaf. I get them confused.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that Ninth Pawn was, when you were saying Pine Leaf is always right, was complaining about my 80s movies viewing history.
Yes, I was wondering if you were seeing in the chat room. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, because when I said you were always right, Ninth says, he's not always right. There's titles missing from his 80s movies viewing history. Cough, The Goonies. Cough, cough, Labyrinth.
Well, there is that.
And Predator and Michael Jackson's Thriller video that you've never seen, and the list goes on and on, Piney.
Well, and I heard that you were also interviewing the people at Renegade Studios, Game Studios. Yes.
I did stop by the booth and talk to Danny Lowe, who is the Associate Marketing Manager. That is a mouthful. At Origins as well. Once again, we talked about latest games coming out from Renegade, and got a sneak peek about an upcoming game as well. And I will be talking to Danny again at Gen Con. Imagine that.
Ooh. Now, are you allowed to talk about the sneak peek, or is that something?
No, not yet. At Gen Con, I can.
Oh, at Gen Con you can?
Yeah, because it hasn't been announced yet. She
so
wouldn't even let me film it. I was going to try to film it, and she's like, no, turn the camera off.
Okie dokie.
But I got to see it, and it's awesome.
Then let's head out and see what's on the screen. And obviously not the upcoming game from Renegade. But there is going to be a reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Rising Twist.
Do we have to talk about this?
What?
I said, do we have to talk about this? Can't I just pretend this never is happening and it's not going to happen? And this is all just a nightmare? And can't we just move on with our lives?
You think that they're going to ruin Buffy, I guess you're thinking then?
Hell yeah, they're going to ruin Buffy. Don't, just don't. Just don't. Just walk away, put your pens down, put your keyboard away, walk away from this horrible script you're writing, and just walk away.
I take it then that the stuff that they hinted at is going to make it sound like it's really bad.
Just no. Just don't. Don't mess with Buffy. Just don't. Yeah, over the weekend, they announced that there's going to be a reboot of Buffy coming out. And the biggest twist they're adding is Buffy is now going to be an African American, which is fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. That's okay, because if you watched Buffy in, I want to say it was season 5, the original Slayer, Buffy had to go, like, I guess, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Buffy, but anyway, Buffy had to go on like a vision quest, and she had to basically take some drugs to make her hallucinate, and she went kind of back in time-ish, and she met the original Slayer, and the original Slayer was like an indigenous African person. So, I mean, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that part. It's just the whole rebooting of Buffy. It doesn't need rebooted. Leave it alone.
Well, it sounds like a reboot is what they're doing to everything these days.
I know. It's like, just stop. But
yes.
The new version is going to be pitched to streaming and cable networks, so they don't even have anybody that's willing to even throw money at this yet. They're just hoping somebody will.
Oh, you mean it's not like it's not like you said they're pitching it. It's not like that's already been bought by Netflix or Amazon.
Right, no. Nobody has even expressed interest in this yet. My guess is, like you had just said, either Netflix or Amazon One is going to snap this up. It's probably going to be Netflix, but I don't know. But anyway, just stop. They did say, like our world, it will be richly diverse of the reboot. And like the original, some aspects of the series could be seen in metaphors for issues facing us all today. Producers of the project told Deadline. Deadline is the one that first reported the news of the Buffy reboot. So, I don't know. And they haven't said if any of the original cast is going to be involved. There is going to be a couple of the writers from the original series involved, and Josh Whedon is involved in a producing role, so at least Whedon is involved, so I don't think he'll let it get too screwed up, but just don't. Don't.
My question is, why reboot instead of saying that it is a new series based on a new Slayer? That's almost like a next generation.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what they should do. If they want to do Buffy the Next Generation, I'm cool with that. That's fine. Don't go back and mess with Buffy.
Yeah, she is going to be the previous Slayer.
Exactly, because, into every generation a Slayer is born. Okay, so let's say Buffy finally died. Okay, I'm going to miss Buffy, but look, there's a new Slayer. But her name's not Buffy, but she's a Slayer, and it's the same show, but it's cool. It's a continuation, not a reboot. Don't mess with the original Buffy. And Nightpon is saying, I knew this would get you angry. Yes. I was very heated when I saw this over the weekend.
Don't mess with vampire lore or Dracula.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I was very, very heated this weekend. I'm actually calm now compared to how I was when I first heard this news. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's you calm. I don't want to be near you when you're heated.
Exactly. That's right. I'm actually calm about this now. But yeah, just don't mess with Buffy, please. I'm begging you.
Then let's head into our weekend gaming. Dracula, what were you up to?
Well, I did some DDO, believe it or not. Finally, I actually played some games. Oh my god, what's going on? I took my Ranger, which is level 7, into the Temple of Elemental Evil, but I'm going to let Pineleaf talk about that because reasons. And that was with Bonnie View, but Pineleaf will tell his version of the story. I'm sure it's a lot better than my version. But, so, spoiler alert, Pineleaf is going to talk about that in a minute. And then after we got done with that, when Pineleaf logged off, Bonnie said, "You want to run some of the new quest?" And I said, "Sure." So I got my level 21 rogue out, which I haven't played in like forever and a day. I actually was like, I don't remember anything about what does this skill do? Oh yeah, that's what that skill does. So yeah, that was fun trying to remember how to play my level 21 rogue again with all my cool spells. But yeah, we did 2 of the new quests, Memory Lapse and Kind of a Big Deal. I want to say so much about these, but Pineleaf hasn't run these yet, so I want to keep it spoiler free. But I loved both of these quests. Kind of a Big Deal was my favorite one out of them because of spoilers that I won't talk about. Hopefully Pineleaf and I will be running these Wednesday, and then I can talk about what I really loved about this, and I can't wait to see Pineleaf's reaction to some of this stuff. So I'm just going to leave it at that because, spoilers. Then the only other thing I did game-wise is 7 Days to Die. We restarted our server. We actually got a brand new server, and we decided to start over. So we are on like day, I think 2, and this time we have decided we are all going to have a neighborhood together. We are all going to have our own separate houses in a neighborhood. We're all going to be close to each other, and then we're going to have like one central point for Horde Nights that we have like a, quote-unquote base for Horde Night. And then other than that, we're each going to have our own little neighborhood house, and we're all going to come over and just say, hey, can I borrow some sugar in this zombie apocalypse? And so yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And then elsewhere, game-wise, Bonnie and I talked about it last week, but we did do the first part of what we think is going to be probably 3 episodes of Remove Annabelle's Curse. That is the Fantasy Grounds D&D 5e game that we're playing over on DDO Stream. It's called D&D Night on DDO Stream, and you should be able to go. I know you can get it off the Twitch page, but I think you should be able to go over on the D&D DDO. I'm seeing D&D and DDO too much. I'm getting confused. You should be able to go over on the DDO YouTube channel and get that video. It should be up on YouTube now. That was a fun time. And as I said, we think that's going to end up being probably 3 streams to get that done. And we're not going to play probably until the end of August now because we have Gen Con. A lot of us are going to Gen Con, so we won't be able to play that weekend. And then we have some conflicts a couple of the weekends after. So it's probably going to be towards the end of August before we have part 2. So
I would think that if you were all at Gen Con, you'd be able to play as a group live.
Well, I've thought about doing that. It depends how many people are there. That might be a thing. I know I am playing some D&D at Gen Con, but we'll see. That might be a thing. And that's really all I did in gaming. So how about you, Pineleaf? What did you do?
All right, we'll begin with my ASMR favorite soul, level 8, where we followed Bunny Bew into the Temple of Elemental Evil. That means first we did part 1 with the let's get through part 1 as fast as possible.
Yeah,
and we
zerged it.
Yeah, so we got through there pretty quickly. No real problem there. So we took care of it, and the club even worked eventually. Actually, I think eventually is right word. That's right, because I think that Earth Elemental was reluctant to leave the Earth Zone.
Yeah, he did. Took him forever to finally come out of there.
Yeah, so that took a little while in the matter. But that was happening on the Temple of Elemental Evil. Then we went into part 2, and we all got through there quickly. Everything's looking fine. And then we got water.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that, of course, Bonnie Bew is just hating that we're in the water area. And I'm going through this entire thing and saying, oh, where's my air bar? Where's my breath bar? Where's my breath bar? And I had completely forgotten that character had a helmet. I believe it was something like water. I forgot the exact name. Was it a helmet of water?
I don't remember what it was, but yeah, you basically had underwater action and
that's right. It's underwater action. Yeah, so it's a helmet of underwater action. So therefore, I didn't need to worry about breathing. Good thing I had that helmet on there because I'm sure I would have died 5 times in the water otherwise.
Yeah, I hate the water node. I hate the water node.
Yeah, I think that's the first time where I really thoroughly did the water node because I don't think it pops up all that often for me, and even when I do, I try to get through it as minimal as possible so that I don't have to worry about it because it's a real pain. Actually, I think one of the things I wind up doing is if you get the gem quickly is to go back to the entrance, pop back to the main area, then I think you can from there find the next room or something weird like that because of the order they go in. But yeah, and for a change, not too much trouble on the matter. Once we finished the water node finally and all that stuff, we went to meet Zuggedmoid, and I demonstrated quite thoroughly why I hate that fight.
Yeah, Pymik died like almost instantly.
Yeah, I didn't die instantly. In fact, I don't think I was the first death even. Actually, no, I might have died instantly and got brought back up.
You got res right away.
Right, got res right away. So
and then the second time, you did actually last for a while.
I did actually last for a while, and I think Zuggedmoid was down to a third around that time. Then I got killed. Then at this point, it was a case to see how many cakes did Bonnie Bew have in her inventory?
Yeah, many cakes were eaten.
Many cakes were eaten, and eventually we finished the quest.
So
at least Bonnie finished the quest, might be a more accurate term.
But you can officially say you have defeated Zuggedmoid now.
No, I saw Bonnie defeat Zuggedmoid.
You still won, it still counts, finally.
I was able to access the treasure chest.
See, there you go, you won.
My spirit won. But yeah, that was I don't like Zuggedmoid. But anyway, that was that on the matter, and the rest of my week was playing a lot of Minecraft. That's what it sort of came down to. In my Railroad Challenge series, I am moving a village because their ground on the village, they built their village on sand, and if you shovel anywhere near the sand starts collapsing all in stuff. So whoever there built that village certainly didn't think about things like foundations and the like. So therefore, I am moving their village closer to the railroad tracks that I am building, and I built the first building, which is the library. So I've moved over all the books to the library, and that means that when they move to their new village, they'll be able to read.
Because reading is fundamental, after all.
Yeah, it's fundamental, right? That's the first thing they're going to be wanting to do is, I'm sure, to go out and read some books. And then in my in my Elemental Island series, my Atomic Island series, I of course built a couple of areas, and one of the things I noticed at one point is I saw that there was a shipwreck, and I decided to try to raid the shipwreck. And this shipwreck was this was a really deep shipwreck in a very dark part of the ocean, so it was a real pain. I managed to raid 2 of the chests. I had never discovered that there was a third chest because it was just so bad down there that I just gave up eventually, because every time I was down there for more than a couple of minutes, all these drowned zombies started attacking me and coming after me, and I just got tired of fighting them and running out of breath and going up and down and all that fun stuff. But I did get some potatoes out of it. Then in the base race, I demonstrated that diamonds are very definitely not forever.
Okay.
And essentially is I had found in a matter of a couple of minutes the 2 best diamond nodes I had ever found in Minecraft. So therefore, together, these 2 diamond nodes had a total of 15 diamonds in them. And that's without a fortune pick. So that was wonderful, great, everything. Then this baby zombie comes in, distracts me, spooks me, and causes me to fall in some lava. I was able to recover everything that was on me when I died, except the diamonds.
Hence, diamonds aren't forever.
Diamonds aren't forever. I had them for a couple of minutes, and then, yeah, easy come, easy go. And then in another one of my series where I was to challenge myself to build a jungle tree house. This was originally done as the Minecraft Hardcore Challenge, but I got killed in there, so therefore I was still wanted to try to build this tree house, so I did a series to replace the prematurely terminated hardcore challenge and managed to build a tree house there. So now I had a tree house to nice and appreciate, and build it sort of in the style of Flet is probably the closest thing I could say to it. So I had fun doing that. We currently have 19 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on a podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And if you have any ideas for new and exciting Patreon rewards, then please send them to Dracula at drac@ddoplayers.com. This week, we have an email from Freeman Druid. And what does Druid say?
He says, just a quick question and a note on the audio. I have been listening to episode 184 and found all but you, Drac, were a little low and could not really hear anything on my drive into work. Such a pity. Yeah, about that. I totally apologize for last week's episode. I actually edited that and fixed that in post. It's way better than what it was originally. I'm not sure what happened. Something broke in the move and the resetting up of computers, and on the call, it sounded good, but then on the record, yeah, Pineleaf, you couldn't hear at all. And I actually boosted his audio to where you could kind of hear him, so you should have heard what it originally sounded like. But as I said, it was really weird, because on the call, it sounded good, and we had an active chat room last week, and nobody in the chat room was saying that it didn't sound good, so I'm not sure what happened on the record. But yeah, I apologize for that. I think I figured the problem out. It should be fixed. This episode should be better. So, knock on wood. We hope, knock on wood, that it works. So, yeah, I apologize for the audio. Should be fixed. Should be better. We'll see. And then he also says, question from Freeman, a lonely druid just starting out and looking for your wisdom. I have a veteran status to jump to 4th or 7th level, and I'm wondering if I should just grind it out. Okay, we're going to have 2 very differing opinions on this. My opinion is, hell yes, you should skip. Start at 4 or start at 7. And now Pineleaf's answer is going to be,
go Korthos!
Yeah, I knew we were going to be totally different on that. So yeah, I guess it's based on if you've never done Korthos before, and it sounds like he's a brand new player to DDO, I would probably say for at least this character, go ahead and do Korthos. So start on level 1 at Korthos, go through everything, enjoy Korthos one time, and then never do it again, and then just use your veteran, or be like fine, never do it every time. But yeah. And then he says, and what should I look for in equipment? Being a druid, I would say the most important thing you are going to want is going to be your armor, especially at those low levels. But you're going to need hide armor, and hide armor is going to be hard to come by. If you run the red fens, the quest chain and rewards out in the red fens, there is some really good hide armor that is available. So I would definitely run red fens, and I kind of think Sharn Syndicate, some of those quests actually have some hide armor that's decent as well. And then you can also look in the marketplace. It depends how active people are selling to the brokers, but every once in a while you can get some really good armor at the brokers in the marketplace. That's another place to check. And I know Pineleaf doesn't really care about his gear that much, so do you have any suggestions for him for that?
Me give suggestions on gear? That's rather, yeah, I have not exactly been known to be one who optimizes gear. So asking me for advice on gear is it is like asking Draculetta for advice on swimsuits out in the sun.
Yeah, right. And speaking of the sun, Ninth Pawn is saying in the doing Korthos or not argument, he's siding with Pineleaf on this one. And ow, it burns. Oh, Ninth, you disappoint me so.
Oh, well. He has to side with me every once in a while.
That's true. And then finally, Freeman does say, as I'm newly jumping over from Lotro, but not giving that up, and he hasn't played D&D since the first edition in his youth. Freeman Druid in training, also known as Balak the Guardian. So apparently he plays a Guardian in Lotro.
Yeah, that sounds like a strange jump going from Guardian to Druid.
Yeah, you would think he would have chose like Paladin or Fighter being a Guardian, but I don't know. But just have fun, enjoy DDO. I'm glad to have you here. Glad. I always like to see Lotro players coming over to check DDO out, and DDO players going over to Lotro and check that out, vice versa. It's always good. At least we're supporting SSG in their endeavors, because since I make both games, it's cool that we get to be crossover audience. So welcome, and thanks for your letter.
And thank you for your letter, Freeman. And if you would like to send us a letter, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Dracula @Dracula_72, and Pineleaf @PineleafNeedles. And you can follow Drac on Twitch @Dracula_72. The Players Alliance has 4 shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, well, except for this week. We had DDO Players News every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have Lotro Players News. Every other Thursday at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. And on the first Tuesday of each month at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Chromatic Bits. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And remember, DDO Players News is brought to you by the Easy Roller Dice Company. Use the coupon code DDO Players at checkout and save 15%. And that is all for tonight. And this is PineleafNeedles reminding you to quest responsibly.